So next up is arrow functions. I love arrow functions. They are slick and simple, and they don't convolute the global scope. They're just, in my opinion, they are super easy to work with. So, and they started with in ES6, and that was with the in 2015. I thought it was 2016 originally, but anyway, arrow functions remove the need to type out the function keyword every single time you need to create a function. Instead, you first include the parameters inside that, and then an arrow, which is equals greater than sign, that point directly to the function body surrounded in that. And technically, you don't always need that, by the way. So, it is important to be familiar with the multiple ways of writing functions because you will come across each of these when reading other JavaScript code. That is other people's JavaScript code. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, change plant needs water to that. So all it really is remove the function keyword, and then after the parameters, you put in equals greater than. That's it. Okay? So I run that. There's the function, or there's that. Here's the thing. If your function is a single line, for example, return day equals Wednesday, you don't actually need the return statement or with the brackets. Okay, if you don't use if you have brackets without the return statement, it's not going to work the same way. But if you remove the brackets and the return statement, it will do the exact same thing. Day. So now this will say this will return true if the day is Wednesday. This is a function that returns true if the day is Wednesday, and that's it. And it'll return false if the day is not Wednesday. So this is why these functions are nicer, because you don't have to include the brackets and the return statement, and you can have a bunch of really small things. And then we can get into currying, which is like functions that return other functions, which is kind of fun. But that's where the arrow functions come in handy. And then when you're dealing with say you've got dealing with like event listeners, so say document.add event listener. I don't know. Oh, hey, look, this is actually a thing. Click. So anytime you click on the thing, if you do it with the function keyword, function event does this, and that technically works, although it looks ugly. So you can do this, and it looks cleaner. And also, you don't have to include that if your thing is one line. Console.log clicked. So, oops. So that's where these anonymous functions come in, and you don't have to pass in that. Or if you do pass in something, you actually don't have to include the parentheses. It's only one thing. If you have multiple parameters, you do comma, param. Great. So arrow functions are quite useful. What else about arrow functions that I didn't go over? Oh, yeah, the this keyword. So I don't think the syllabus includes this. So the next thing is about arrow functions. All right. Yeah, we already talked about this, so I'll just go through this. Let's refer. Okay. Notice that we've already. Okay. This is so stupid. Why are you using a ternary operator? Just return this. It's so redundant. Oh my god. Okay. Let's refract it. Notice that we've already converted the if-else statement. Okay. Yeah. So basically, you can get rid of the return and the two brackets. Oh, and you can remove the parentheses around day. All right. But also, this is stupid. This is dumb. Don't do it. Why are you doing that? It would only, and even if you like inverted it, false, true, all you have to do is that and get rid of that. And now it just inverts the thing. Like, okay, whatever. So why do we use the arrow function? Or like, what's really like the difference between the arrow function and the function keyword? This gets into pre-ES6 when you have the introduction of the class. So you can create objects by like saying class thing, and you have a thing. Okay, so that gets into object-oriented programming. But you can also do that with functions. So function thing, my like foo. Okay, and you say this dot foo equals bar. Okay, or foo. Okay, so now const thing equals thing foo. Okay, actually I'll say bar. Okay, so that is a way to this will now create a thing dot foo will be a parameter. So I can console.log thing dot foo. Okay, if I run this, what? Oh, return this. I think you have to return this. Yeah. So this is how classes used to work with these. But if you do this with an arrow function, const thing equals foo, and you try to do this. Oh, interesting. It did work. Huh. Oh, yeah. Because wait. What? Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm going to keep that as is. So I'm going to say console const me equals this. Actually, I'm going to say this dot hello equals world. Okay. So now I'm going to see what happens. Interesting. Interesting. This is really interesting. So I wonder if there's an error here, because from what I have read, this is not to be expected. So what's happening here is that this keyword is like the global, like basically how you access the math, the like many other things. I don't think like this is not supposed to look like that. If I console.log this, it is not supposed to look like that. Just flat out, that doesn't make sense for it to look like that, because this keyword is supposed to include math, console, all the primitives, etc. It's supposed to include all of those, but it doesn't in here. So there's some sort of problem inside of this thing that I cannot actually demonstrate with this ecosystem. But basically, arrow functions would not be able to handle this situation. But because this is handled differently and weirdly, it's not working the way it should be. So because this is in a weird sandbox. That's interesting. That's actually kind of cool. But anyway, this is like the edge case of arrow functions versus functions. And it is just the understanding that this keyword, and we will get into understanding what this is, what classes are, object-oriented programming, functional programming, all of this stuff. We'll really understand all this stuff later. But there is a fundamental difference between these two, and it has to do with the this keyword and how it interacts with the global scope. So, arrow functions. Now you understand arrow functions reasonably. I don't think I have anything else on those. We have covered parameters, removing those. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Yeah. So, arrow functions. My favorite function.